Hello and welcome to the PMA 707 module on governance, public management and African leadership. My name is Leon Malan and I will be the main facilitator of this module. You can find my details on ClickUp. In this video, I would like to share with you what we will be focusing on during the next few weeks in this module. We will be discussing and studying various topics that align with the outcomes of the module, because on completion of this module, we want you to be able to apply the concepts of public administration, public management and governance in a particular environment in the public sector. We would like you to interpret the relationship between governance, public management and ethics, review the nature and dimensions of governance in the public service, judge the legislative framework for governance in a work environment, to be able to evaluate the implications of the legislative framework towards governance and public management. We would like you to respond to ethical and democratic dimensions of administrative activities in state organizations, select and apply models and theories of leadership, and be able to evaluate the core constructs of African leadership within the public sector. The different topics that we will be focusing on in this module are on the following: public administration, public management. We will be dealing with governance, strategic public management, leadership and leadership theory, public sector ethics, and African leadership. When studying public administration during the first 2 weeks, our focus is going to be to describe the state, democracy, a developmental state, and public administration within these forms of state, outline the evolution of the concept of a state as clarified by philosophers, statesmen, and political theorists, interpret democracy as it is measured in the international arena, explain the reasons why public administration should be democratized and how it can be democratized, describe the problem-based approach to democratic theory, and distinguish between the core values and principles of public administration and the different legislation that guides public officials to serve in a democracy, and compare the different perspectives on old public administration, new public management, and the new public service and its application. During weeks 3 and 4, when we deal with the public management topic, we will focus on describing public management as an international academic field of study, explaining the developments in public management theory, differentiating between the 4 public management functions, exploring the changing landscape of public management, and also describing the competencies required of 21st century public managers facing the challenges relating to the 4th industrial revolution. During week 5 and 6, we will focus on governance, where we will be describing the different models, theoretical approaches, and paradigms of governance, discussing public governance in a networked society and transitions in public governance. We will be debating the different public governance challenges, as well as the concept of putting the public back into governance. We'll be explaining adaptive governance as a means to establish a stable, responsible government, as well as the relevance of the King 4 report on corporate governance for the public sector. When studying public sector ethics in weeks 7 and 8, we want to, at the end of the 2 weeks, be able to justify the importance of ethical leadership for accountability and an ethical organizational culture. We want to differentiate between the strategies to enhance ethics in the public sector and recommend workable solutions, identify and appraise the manifestations of unethical behavior, and to suggest remedies to combat unethical behavior, as well as to identify and describe the various role players in the fight against corruption. In weeks 9 and 10, the focus will be on strategic public management, where we will explain strategic management and strategic planning methodology in the public sector, compare the different steps in the strategic management and planning process in the public and private sectors, and analyze the strategic plan in the public sector and the different strategic management and planning models in the public sector. During weeks 11, 12, and 13, we will discuss leadership and leadership theories as well as African leadership, by analyzing the different leadership styles and theories and exploring propositions about public leadership. We will also have a look at emotional intelligence and engage with methods developed that leaders can use to rate or improve their emotional intelligence. We will also explain leadership from an African philosophy perspective and explore African leadership challenges in the 21st century. You'll be asked to participate in various activities and submit different assessments, and in the last week will be spent on doing an integrated assessment activity. I'm really looking forward to facilitating this module and to get to know you. You are not in this alone, and we are here to support you through this whole learning process. To local and global contexts.